I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where we're going to rename our show and then never host it again.
Oh my god.
Like the Eagle Awards.
Not like the Eagles, they just fight. But yeah, this came up because we're sitting here looking at the cover of our issue of X-Men this week, and it is an Eagle Award winner. So I went back and I looked, and it got all kinds of information on the Eagle Awards.
Because you see an award like this, and you wonder, what the fuck is an Eagle Award? Why have I never heard of that?
Right. I'm like, okay, is this one award, or is this like winning an Academy Award where you're like, oh, I'm an Academy Award winner, but like you won for special effects or something?
Which is not a bad thing. We would like to make that clear.
Comicsplaining is explicitly saying that special effects is not a worthy award.
No, fuck you.
No, but seriously, special effects are awesome.
Yeah, but when you say that, that's not what someone says. They go, oh, you won an Academy Award, holy fuck. I mean, it is still holy fuck, but that's not what they're thinking. Named off of a comic book magazine, pretty much what everybody's favorite is of that year, and the X-Men won 3 the last year. They won, I think it was favorite comic book team, favorite color comic, and favorite writer, with our boy Chris. But this is also our 100th episode. It took us a while. Slightly longer than expected. There were a couple breaks that weren't exactly planned in, but...
It happens.
Shit happens. This is not the end of this season, but we are going to have ourselves a little celebration. And by celebration, I mean, I'm going to play my own bingo card with our tropes and see if they come up.
Yeah, Ripley's going to judge us.
We are being judged. And if we don't get a bingo, we will be voted off the island.
Actually, one of the spaces is no one gets a bingo, so...
Wait.
I think you're going to get that one.
Yeah.
If you get a bingo, you can't put that space.
Man, what if that's the one space I need to get a bingo? That would be so fucking trying. The free space, by the way, is we will never be YouTube monetizable because we can't go 5 minutes without someone saying something about, like, fisting or some goddamn thing.
I mean, all you have to really do is say fuck, and it starts the ball rolling from there.
So, yeah. No dice on that, probably.
But the moment you said fisting, I think,
Yeah, it said fisting in the first minute of the show.
Yeah, that...
No, it probably is the first minute. We've been recording a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you made it unmonetizable.
Well, that's fine. We're not making money anyway.
John was in the bathroom so long that I have to pee again.
Yeah, we're here for the love of the game, and we're just gonna make Candace stay there instead.
I'm gonna die.
Should I get up? Should I just mark off Konnichiwa from Japan?
Yeah. That's actually what the title of the episode is probably going to be. The one where we say Konnichiwa from Japan.
Konnichiwa. Now that feels...
Slightly racist.
Yeah, but on the
it's
flip
also
side,
kind of making the joke at that.
On the flip side, that's very much what this was. Chris was a weeb.
Weeb.
Yes! You say that, you joke, but that's the truth. This was like first wave weeaboo.
Weren't there all like ye old Victorian weebs, pretty much?
Yeah.
Japanophiles.
So, The Mikado. The Mikado is a play that was put on in Great Britain. Mm-hmm. It was making fun of British politics through a Japanese lens, but it felt vaguely racist in a sort of way. The thing is, when
it was the Victorian era.
When the
if you're only doing vaguely racist, I think you're doing pretty well.
When the Japanese embassy was doing its world tour, because that's a thing they were doing.
Yes.
When they came to Britain, they wanted to see the Mikado. But the thing is, during that period, the Mikado was explicitly not put on because the British government was afraid of offending Japan. So you have to understand that sometimes there's a miscommunication on whether or not this is offensive. Sometimes. Nowadays, we can just ask each other, but in the 1870s or 80s or whatever, it's a little harder to just ring someone up and say, Hey, is this piece of media offensive to you guys?
Well, and it's also like...
What is considered offensive changes over time.
Well, that, and also things that are offensive to, like, Japanese Americans are not offensive to Japanese.
Oh, that one's even more complicated. The Mikado is simple because there weren't a whole lot of Japanese British in, like, the 1870s.
Mm-hmm.
But
so you can tell me what happened in Victorian Britain. Can you tell me what happened last week on X-Men?
No.
Japan sank. Japan sank.
Yeah, they were in Japan.
That is true.
Sunfire was there.
Correct.
Moses Magnum wants to rule Japan.
That was at the end.
That is true.
So they were on a boat.
Oh.
Right.
The boat was Japanese. It was not a whaling vessel.
Well, we skipped a whole issue here, actually.
Right. There was the matter of Chuck leaving for space.
Oh.
Well, he did leave for space, but something happened before that.
Right. He had a flashback.
Yep.
To when he was in Egypt.
He got pickpocketed by a young Storm.
And he killed a guy.
Yep, and he killed a guy.
He did kill a guy psychically.
In the astral realm, yeah, they were doing astral battle.
Yeah, they did astral battle!
Oh, that was loud.
That was very loud.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You gotta project when you do a voice like that. It's kind of impossible not to.
I understand. I very much do. You know when I get going, I get loud too, because you gotta.
Look, when you're doing a voice, sometimes you have to project. Otherwise, it sounds wrong.
Yeah, if you want it to record right, you've gotta do it.
Yes.
I really hope our neighbors don't hate us.
Yeah. Well, we only do it like once a week, so fuck it.
No, we should be doing this every night as loud as possible.
God, no. So, we've done that was one story. He then went off to space with Lalandra. You're correct.
And he missed his call. And he didn't just miss his call, he turned off the phone line.
He turned off the phone.
The mansion no longer has a phone bill.
Yep. He's just trying to save money. He's a penny pincher.
Yeah.
That's how he has a mansion.
And the B story was Kurt fucks.
Yes.
Yep, Kurt fucks.
Does indeed fuck.
And it was Indiana Jones.
It was.
Yeah, it was basically the Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom minus most of the racism.
It was actually more racially sensitive than Temple of Doom, to be perfectly honest. Which is impressive. Although, to be fair, they were contemporaries. They would have been relative contemporaries.
Relatively close.
Yeah, I mean, they're within like 5 years.
Yeah.
Which, for this, is actually kind of a big deal.
Nice.
So in the second issue, they were on the boat and they arrived at Japan.
And everything was on fire.
The city was on fire.
Yep.
But it was also flooded?
No.
No, Moses Magnum is going to flood it.
No.
He's threatening to flood it.
No.
No? I thought he was...
There was an earthquake. That's what caused the fires.
I could have sworn he threatened to sink it.
Well, yes, he's going to sink it, but not by affecting the water, by affecting the fucking ground.
I mean, a flood's a flood, whether the water goes up or the ground goes down.
No, I think it's a distinctly different situation, because once the flood is gone, the land is still there.
Right.
So what, he's going to sink Japan into the ocean if he doesn't get to have it?
Right, if he doesn't get an anime waifu, he's going to sink Japan into the sea.
So yeah, they arrived in Japan, they went and found Sunfire, and Sunfire was with the Prime Minister and also Misty Knight.
And Scott was dragged into a meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan, where, unfortunately for him, he doesn't speak Japanese.
He doesn't speak Japanese, and everyone was speaking Japanese.
The only person who does speak Japanese wasn't in the room with him.
Because he was busy creeping on Sunfire's cousin.
Which is a great thing to do. I don't know if that's a flex on Sunfire or not. We'll find out, because we know Wolverine fucks.
What he needs to do is marry Sunfire's mom and then make him his stepson.
Oh my god. And then there was another earthquake, and the people showed up.
They did show up.
Don't remember what they were called.
The Mandroids.
Mandroid. It was
that
something
was
stupid.
very dumb. They were actually just guys in robot suits.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're called Mandroids.
Because they're dumb.
Yes.
And Sunfire was like, I'm gonna kill these guys, and then immediately got bodied. And then the X-Men took out all the Mandroids.
Now, to be fair, they were prepared for Sunfire. They were very prepared for Sunfire.
Yeah, they weren't quite expecting to get jumped on by a group of 5 nobodies.
From America.
American tourists.
I wouldn't call them American, necessarily.
Okay, not all of them are American, but they came...
Specifically, one of them is American.
Oh, 2 of them are American. Storm is also American.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Wait,
They moved
she
from
was
Harlem.
born in America.
Oh, right.
She is a citizen.
By her
she was
passport,
born in
she's
America,
an American.
moved to Africa, and is now back in America.
Well, no, she's in Japan. Maybe you haven't paid attention.
No, okay, and she was back in America, then in Antarctica, then in Japan.
Right. Now you're on.
Yeah, nailed it.
This is just what the X-Men is. God. Oh.
So they're an international team. Of course they're going to travel internationally.
So they took out the mandroids, and then Moses Magnum showed up and was like, I want to be the ruler of Japan.
Give me my body pillow.
Or else I'm going to sink it into the ocean. And that was it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, but you missed one story.
Oh, the Beast story.
Yep.
Oh, there was a B story for that one, wasn't there?
There was. So the Phoenix got her luggage stolen.
That's right. So Jean was vacationing in Greece.
And she got her luggage stolen in a previous thing, because she's also just fucked off.
Yeah.
Chuck isn't on the planet anymore, but Jean's still here. If she'd left some sort of forwarding address, maybe the guys could have found
She was depressed.
Well, she went on
Fair.
vacation because she still thinks that the other X-Men are dead, including Scott.
Which, okay, I will... Great, that is fair. That is fair.
And she got her luggage stolen, but she got approached by this guy named Nikos.
A mysterious stranger.
Who offered her, food, and then a place to sleep, and then clothes, and,
Gucci Mama clothes, yeah.
Totally didn't have any ulterior motives.
Yeah, no ulterior motive.
And everything was fine, and that was it.
And it was great. And she had a great time and discovering that she could be powerful and wonderful.
I think you guys are retconning some things here out of unpleasantness.
She had a great
I
time,
think you
and it was wonderful because she realized she could be strong and destructive and rule everything!
Well, yeah, now you're onto something, but you are missing the fact that Nikos was actually Mastermind.
No way.
No, he couldn't be.
He couldn't be. That guy didn't have mutton chops. Neither did Nikos.
Yeah.
If anything, Nikos looked more like Mastermind than the guy who actually was Mastermind.
Yeah, I thought the guy who was Mastermind was a completely different guy.
So did I.
Who
Maybe
has
it was
mutton
an
chops.
illusion.
The mutton chops are an illusion.
Well, I was going to say Mastermind's original face.
Fuck.
Oh no, the guy
layers on layers on layers.
You're telling me the guy I thought was who ended up being Mastermind is Mastermind, but also not Mastermind. No!
I don't think that's what I'm saying, but okay.
I don't think that, no.
Our first issue is X-Men 119 from December of 1978. Written by Chris Claremont, pencils by John Byrne, inks by Terry Austin, colors by Glynis Wein, and lettered by John Costanza. We're using the original version this week, not because there isn't a classic X-Men version, but because the classic X-Men addition to the story is very jarring and stupid.
Okay.
And it introduces shit early that, in this case, I don't think serves the story well.
Okay.
So, we catch up with Nightcrawler and Storm, the former grasping on to the latter's hand. Clearly, they've decided to help with the whole Japan is about to sink into the sea thing.
Konnichiwa from Japan.
Indeed.
That is a new space.
Correct. Oh, well, now I can cross off the host loses their place.
Rip.
Kurt is having some second thoughts about this cockamamie plan he's cooked up, but once Aurora gets him a visual on his porting site, he goes, despite himself. It seems Moses Magnum has got himself a classic supervillain volcano base.
Of course.
Wait, there's volcanoes, but has this man set himself up in fucking Mount Fuji?
I don't think so, because he's out in the Kuril Islands.
Okay.
Yeah, they were surrounded by water.
About to say, my first thought.
No.
Volcano in Japan. Mount Fuji?
That would be the ultimate weeb move.
It would be.
Yeah, I mean, you'd pretty much have to give him Japan at that point, right?
And he would call it Fuji-san.
He would.
Kurt bounced onto the side of it, but he's landed up a little higher up than he intended, so he's still got to sneak into the actual facility. I do have questions about why this door exists. Is this how you're supposed to enter the place?
Yes.
Doesn't sound right. It's just a convenient door onto a cool location for our hero to enter into.
Yep.
Of course, this is a stealth mission, and a guard stands in the way.
Kurt, I know you say he should be unconscious, but that looks like you killed a man.
Nah, I think he's okay. It depends on how hard he hit him, frankly. Kurt crawls along the wall above him before curling his tail down to snag him around the neck and bang the man's noggin into the ceiling. With a brief thought to how things went in the Savage Land, Kurt briefly considers how Wolverine would have handled that situation, cringing internally before continuing on his way.
Yeah.
Kurt goes for the non-lethal run.
Yep. Christopher, this page is 60% fucking text.
This page is a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Write a book, why don't you?
I mean, it's fine to have a lot of text, but you gotta break it up more than that.
He's always been wordy, but this is a lot.
I guess this is the real problem of comics from this era. Some people like to get wordy as fuck.
Anyway, Kurt's mood remains grim, our little blue Atlas Jr. holding the fate of all Japan on his shoulders.
Ha 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 ha. I got the joke.
Thank you. Oh, hey, I can also cross off someone has to get up.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I think I can also cross off we wander off the beaten path given that whole thing about the fucking Mikado.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
No,
I'm not sorry that I know about weird Victorian weeabooism.
I am in no way, shape, or form sorry.
Yeah, so the Chris over here is really second wave weeabooism.
Ah, yeah, okay, he's a second wave weeb, got it. He helpfully flashes back to the briefing we missed, where we learn a little bit about our villainous otaku here. It seems that when Tony Stark got out of the arms business, but before he got back into, and then out of, and then into, and then back out of the arms industry.
Don't get me fucking, don't even get me started over here.
Our man Moses here decided to ferry his guns across the Red Sea and into the hands of shitheads the world around. And now he seemingly has decided that he wants Japan.
Why?
Alright, here's your mission, X-Men, should you choose to accept it. Misty Knight and Colleen Wing have tracked Moses down to his bitchin' volcano base in Kuril. If he sees any sign of attack, he'll unleash the Magnum Force on Japan.
He's in the Kuril Islands. Why?
It's impenetrable. We want you to penetrate it.
I mean, why not just trigger whatever article it is that says the United States must defend Japan and let the Americans bomb it from orbit?
Nothing to defend if it sinks into the sea.
Yeah, but if they put Moses against a wall and shoot him in the face, I don't think it's going to sink into the sea.
The Prime Minister's playing hardball. There's no negotiating with terrorists, so it all rests on the X-Men. Bringing us here. Kurt calls home to the man in the chair, Misty Knight, and she passes on word to Storm and Banshee. Sean makes an attack run on Moses' scanners. Think kind of like those weird-shaped satellite dishes on top of gas stations.
Wow, that looks like it might be supposed to be radar?
I think it is. I think that's what they're going for, yeah. Magnum's men aren't sure it's an attack, though. It could just be a malfunction. Still, they sound the alarm. With everybody heading outside to investigate, Kurt's got a clear path to descend through the base to find a way in for his friends, worrying that they'll run out of air. Moses must have been bluffing about sinking Japan into the sea at the first sign of attack because his goons are just fighting the X-Men.
Yeah, I don't think...
Well, because he wants Japan, so
Right.
he wouldn't do it immediately.
I mean, it might just have been a bluff entirely. What does he get from sinking Japan?
Doesn't get Japan, that's for sure.
Yeah, you don't get one mint in box Japan by sinking it.
But yeah, he's going for a salvage title. One of the guys tries to hit Sean with some kind of sonic disintegrator cannon, but he just changes his vibration to bounce the sound waves back at them, temporarily deafening the operator.
He can do that?
I guess.
Sure.
I'll accept it.
It's not like we've really investigated much of what he can do.
Oh, hey, I thought I was going to have to cross this off for me, but I can definitely cross off bad accent time after whatever the fuck that was.
It was Italian. It was Italian.
It was Italian New Yorker.
Yes. It was an attempt at Italian New Yorker. I'm not good at accents, okay?
Neither am I. That's the fun part.
I am way worse than you are. I guarantee.
So what was that about the X-Men running out of air?
I don't know.
Well, that would be because they're tunneling their way across the bay to the volcano base, with Cyclops eye-punching his way through the earth.
Oh my god.
He keeps doing this. He keeps doing this.
I'm almost going to have to add Cyclops digs a hole on the fucking bingo card.
Well, he can't crash a plane if he's digging a hole.
Can't crash a plane if you're not in the air.
Yeah.
Sunfire's heat blasting the tunnel to kind of keep it sealed up, but the problem they're having is that they don't know when they're in the right place, hence Nightcrawler with the tracking beacon. Scott's more worried about punching through to the sea, but frankly, I'd be more worried about punching through to the fucking volcano. Do we want volcanoes again, Scott?
Yes,
I don't think we do.
We want volcanoes again. We definitely want another volcano, and this time to actually die.
In my stupid lava tunnel.
Yes.
Finally, Kurt sends the signal. Together, Scott and Shiro push on through. But emerging into fresh air, they're immediately seized upon by Magnum himself.
Oh no.
Okay, that's, unexpected.
Finally making it clear why he hadn't been attacking. He'd sensed their tunneling activities and apparently decided to take care of them himself.
He's the master of the earth.
He's already smacked down Kurt off-panel, and now he's cold-cocked Piotr straight out of the gate, sending him flying out of the base. Assumedly just off-panel is a Looney Tunes-style series of Colossus-shaped holes with several henchmen peering out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
But even after crashing through the final wall, he's still fucking going.
Woo!
Desperately, he drives his hands down into the dirt below, managing to claw his way to a stop exactly at the edge of the cliff. And he's getting pretty irritated about getting chumped again.
Man's getting wharfed before wharf was really
A thing.
Yeah, you can't get wharfed before wharf was getting wharfed. It's not right.
Worf got Colossus. Back at the beginning of that series of holes, the X-Men are trying to fight off Magnum, who was supposed to be just a dude!
I thought he was just a guy!
And Moses is like, I'm not just a dude, I am power!
Uh-huh.
And he really slugs Wolverine, like, knocks him flat out.
I'm gonna check off speaking of foreign language because Kurt said, what is that in German earlier.
Yeah, he did. He also talked about how his plan was verrückt, which is insane, roughly.
That is German.
I took German in high school.
Yeah.
So did I. I don't remember it.
I don't either.
I didn't take German in high school, but my great-grandma was German, so I picked up on some words here and there.
So you actually used it, loser.
Not extensively, I just know a few words. With the situation worsening, Scott sends Shiro off to retrieve their friends, leaving himself all alone.
Great idea, Scott.
You are so breakable.
Scott.
Glass cannon over here.
You are the breakable man. You are the vincible man. 2 invincible men have been dropped by this guy. You are very vincible. You can be vinced incredibly easily.
And that's why Magnum's like, I'm not even gonna fight you. I'm just gonna have my mandroids fight you.
You're gonna have your guys in suits fight you? Fight him?
But before they get that chance to leave my boy a smear of chunky marinara, Colossus unkool-aids himself through the wall like, send 2 of your metal monsters against the X-Men madmen, or send 200! Colossus will smash them all!
Oh, yeah!
Mark off the bad accents again.
Yeah, I can do that again. I didn't even try with that one, man. Of course, when I do the Russian accent, I'm usually doing it much more jovially.
I got it. Is this man a mutant, or is he just some guy with superpowers.
He's some guy with superpowers. The Edition would have handled that, but it's stupid. He'll kind of explain when we go forward a little bit.
Okay.
Piotr says fuck doors.
Yeah, Piotr does indeed say fuck doors. I mean,
he
kind of got thrown out, but, like, I think we'll give it. I think that's fair. Magnum said fuck doors, but I think if there was a door there, he would have ignored it.
Well, yeah, but he came back in through the holes.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been a little weird for him to find a door to go through.
He goes and he finds the door and he runs through it anyway.
And there's a
I already marked it off. You can't talk me out of it.
I'm not talking you out of it. I'm into it. I think in spirit it counts.
It would have been funny for him to find a door to casually and gently open.
I think that would say a lot about his character, personally.
It would. And he never seems to do that.
No, he doesn't.
Magnum watches Colossus tear through the mandroids like fucking tissue paper and opts not to go for a rematch. Instead, he runs off like, I swore that if attacked I would destroy Japan, and by all the devils in hell, destroy it I will!
Why? What kind of weeb destroys Japan?
One that can't get an anime girlfriend.
Yep. Yeah. If I can't have it, nobody can.
What are you gonna do with Japan?
Have it!
And then what?
You get to decide what anime is made.
Yeah. Sean sees him going, but he can't react in time to stop Magnum, and sonically shielded doors slam shut in his path. After a moment's consideration, Cassidy thinks back to their briefing. The citizens suspected that the quake was caused by some kind of energy blast, which is what Sunfire was shouting about when he broke through to the pair earlier. Sean shouts for the X-Men to evacuate the island now, before soaring out into the skies with a plan to stop Moses Magnum.
Can I put Sean as an Irish stereotype because he thought himself Sean me bucko?
No. I don't think quite yet, but you'll get that square before the episode's out.
It's honestly hard for me to tell when I can and can't get that square.
Yeah.
Unless he's, like, drinking a pint on panel.
It's not quite as bad as it used to be when he showed up.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Trust me.
But also, we're going to need a Japanese stereotype square eventually.
Oh, I hope not.
No, come on. We're going to need it because of how much Japanese stuff we're going to be doing.
I mean, maybe. I'll consider it. I kind of considered that lumped in with Konnichiwa from Japan.
Fair.
Meanwhile, Moses continues his sprint to the core to unleash the Magnum Force on all of Japan. As he goes, he thinks about how he stopped being a dude after falling into a big stupid hole he dug.
What? He dug a hole, fell in, and got power.
There were laser beams and special alloys and shit involved, but yeah, essentially.
And he fell into a hole in the center of the earth.
Yep.
And he got power.
And then his suit got power.
Wait, his
pretty much,
suit?
I think so.
He's just a guy,
Unless I'm misunderstanding, I think that's what that's saying.
Yes, it's saying his combat suit got the elemental force of Quake itself.
Damn. This is like several decades early.
Yes. He got Quake's power, an Inhuman from the future.
Right, okay, yeah, that's not where I was going with that at all.
No. That's not what I was thinking either.
It mostly doesn't matter for our purposes, except that he now has the power to focus an infinite amount of energy anywhere, however he wants, and if Moses Magnum can't have an anime girlfriend, no one can!
And he can't have an anime girlfriend, sorry, but Japan's just not into like that.
Shockingly, he went there, and not a single Japanese girl was like, I love you just because you're an American.
I love you
I
because
can't believe that.
I love you because you threatened my country with sinking into the ocean.
Fucking swoon. He begins the quake, as outside, Banshee somehow blasts through the mountain to do that corking things up with his sonic scream deal again, preventing Moses from unleashing the Magnum Force. Banshee pours it on, fighting through his mounting pain, and then the volcano explodes.
Oh, great.
It really does.
So obviously this throws everything into chaos for quite a while.
Yeah.
By the text, a full day. The rescue effort hasn't been able to begin until now, but their maps aren't doing them much good because where there used to be a whole chain of islands, there is now no islands.
Yikes.
Well, better they destroyed a couple islands than all of Japan.
Narian Island
Japan is a couple of islands.
Well, there's Narian Island to be found here, and the seafloor has been radically reshaped.
Cool.
Finally, though, Misty and Colleen's rescue seaplane. I hunted for this, but I couldn't find anything that was an exact match, but there are so many fucking seaplanes, and I didn't look at them all. There are a couple Japanese planes that actually look close to this.
This might be a pre-war thing.
No, I think the one I'm thinking of was timely. But I could also be wrong, because the one I was thinking of does not have a twin tail like that. So.
I'm noticing it is consistently drawn, so...
I'm assuming they're going for a specific plane again,
Yeah, because if you look at the tail has this kind of upward...
It's a very distinctive tail, and the other thing I was looking at were those landing struts, because they're also very distinctive.
This had a model.
This is a very distinctive plane.
Some nerd with an idea of what they were trying to draw.
John Byrne.
Yes, John Byrne, some nerd, had an idea of what kind of plane they wanted to draw, and drew it.
Well, I think I can cross off plane spotting, but I knew I was going to.
It's a plane. That's what I noticed.
So here's the thing, I am now set up that truly this has been spoken into prophecy where no one gets a bingo would finish my bingo.
That's cursed.
You did this to yourself.
I did. They're beginning to grow hopeless in their search for the X-Men, but Shiro sees them before they see him, so he lights up the sky in a burst of flames, drawing their attention and leading them over to the rest of the X-Men. It's a good thing, too, because Banshee is not feeling so hot, laying still on the rocks.
I'm shocked.
10 days later, he's feeling significantly better health-wise, and a doctor gives him a lift to the Yoshida Manor. But Sean feels stung by the fact that on his discharge, there were none of his friends to see him home.
Oof.
Yeah, being forgotten always hits right to the heart.
Well, I didn't even know who he was when you introduced him, so tells you how much memory this man has in the canon.
Well, he's been dead for a little bit, or he was dead for a little bit.
Who
During the time
hasn't been dead
during
for
the
a little
time
bit?
when you were reading, he's pretty much been dead. Yeah, being forgotten always hits right to the heart, which leads his thoughts to Moira and how he'd like to give the little lady a call. If y'all got hard eyes over Moira, you can cross that off.
I don't.
Nope.
He heads in from the cold, only to be met with his friends, all gathered around the Christmas tree with a banner welcoming him home. Storm has a kimono now, and it's very cute.
That is cute.
Sean does his best to whisper out a holiday greeting. Cracking voice is barely a whisper. Now that his greetings have been said, Logan finally slips off to tell Mariko more about his collection of waifu pillows.
That was all they were going to do with Moses Magnum.
Yeah, he's dead forever
He's gone now.
He got exploded. He's gone forever.
You mean after he did all that to Japan, with all that build-up?
Japan's safe now, it's fine.
That's...
I don't know what you want, where you wanted that to go. Did you expect an ongoing saga with Moses Magnum?
Maybe a little bit after that start. It feels kind of lame.
He was kind of a lame-o-nothing. They beat him and he's done. We got two issues out of him.
Get over it.
Aurora notes the gentle tone in Logan's voice, genuinely endeared by it, noting to herself how much she's come to view the team as her family of sorts. She gives Nightcrawler a kiss on the cheek, with a quick note that she loves him.
You just broke.
Yeah, broke Kurt. Before moving on, leaving poor Kurt reeling. Like, look at him, he looks fucking love drunk. He's holding onto his cheek, like, ooh.
I don't have the Greater Westchester Polycule.
Oh my god, do you have Kurt the Flirt?
I do.
No.
I guess Kurt wasn't really being the flirt.
No, he wasn't. And I don't have the Greater Westchester Polycule either.
Oh my god.
You might actually get no one gets a bingo. What the fuck?
But paradoxically, you would get a bingo.
I know, so I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'm gonna have to cross one off because the producer
has arrived
on set. Aurora continues out onto the balcony where a glum Colossus stands, looking out over the city sprawl. Tonight, he misses his family. While he too sees his friends as a family of sorts, it doesn't make him miss his own any less.
Because unlike some people here, he has an actual whole-ass family back home.
Yep, something he knows is like, man, You're my family, but they are also my family, and I really miss them right now.
And we're not that far from Russia, even if I'd have to take the Trans-Siberian
hop, skip, and a jump
to get there.
See.
There is the Trans-Siberian Railroad.
Later, halfway across the world, Jean arrives in Scotland, finally ready to try and pick up the pieces and move on.
Oh.
She departs the train from London and is met with a warm Christmas greeting from the Muir Island crew, Alex, Lorna, Jamie, and Moira.
Didn't know we were going to get Moira. Maybe she will be the drop of revelation.
Yeah.
They're going to celebrate the holiday with a few days spent taking in the sights and sounds of Edinburgh, before heading back for Muir Island. Muir Island. Why did I say that like that? I guess Moira's just collecting mutants now.
Yeah.
Sure! It's not like
Someone's got to. Chuck gave up the hobby.
I was wondering what happened with Alex and Lorna after the whole nonsense that they went through, but I guess they just went back to Scotland and everything's fine.
Thor called his pal Anthony to give him a lift.
Well, no, I meant, like, when they were mind controlled by, Eric the Red.
Yeah, no, they came here, I think, to try and recover.
Okay.
That's mostly what the idea was.
You can't trust Professor X to help you out with something like that. He might just
he's
mind
off
wipe you.
fucking planet, for one.
And also, even before that...
He wasn't then.
He might just mind wipe you.
Back on Muir Island, someone else is spending their Christmas seeking vengeance. As dark falls over the land, Captain Angus McQuirter...
Oh my god!
Jimmy's the locks into Moira's facility with a sinister plan. He scours the lab for the perfect place to plant charges, to blow the place, and any of its inhabitants to smithereens.
Dude, that's a little extreme.
So, I feel like this is anti-mutant bigotry.
All they did was steal his fucking boat.
I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that they're mutants, frankly.
Oh god, so he's gonna kill them for boat theft.
Yeah, I think it's a wild escalation of hostilities from Grand Theft Airboat to murdering the X-Men's acquaintances.
I was kind of hoping I could pull a casual anti-mutant bigotry out of this.
No, because he even knows they're not there. He's just going because they're connected with the X-Men.
But for one, it's not anti-mutant. It's not bigotry. It's not
just
casual.
This guy is a fucking weirdo.
This guy's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
But not even to mention the fact that he was paid for the boat.
Oh, hey.
He was paid in full. Oh, god damn it. I'm the one angry.
Not to go off topic. Well, we're talking about bingo now, but someone explains their entire backstory.
Ooh.
His name
Moses.
is Ang.
Oh.
Yeah. Moses did explain.
That does count, doesn't it?
We figured out his whole deal. He fell into a hole into the center of the earth. His suit got special material, and he got the power of earthquakes.
I fell into a hole and it gave me earthquakes.
Yes.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. You fall into the center of the planet.
You get bitten by a spider, you become Spider-Man. You fall into a hole, you become Ground Man.
That's right, you're just like, it's what you're affiliated with, and you're intimately affiliated once you reach the bottom of that fucking hole.
Yes.
If I get a secret family member and Scott being a hoe, then I will get a bingo.
Not that McQuirter gets the chance. Suddenly from the shadows, a voice groans that it needs him. And then Moira's lab is back to silent, absent even McQuirter's footsteps as his life is snuffed out.
It's fine. It's fine. He was going to kill them.
He also passed by a door marked Mutant X.
Oh, you noticed that, did you?
Yeah.
I did.
It's a shame I got rid of a 2-panel hint of things to come because it would count.
Yeah.
So how do you rate that?
Disappointed. I wanted something bigger.
The thing with Moses did feel very suddenly broken off to the point where I was expecting he was gonna pop back up at the end.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm not actually dead. Ha ha ha.
You thought you killed me, but I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
So like a 3.
At best.
Yeah.
No, I'd say 3 at...
I think 3.5.
Exactly 3.
There were some very endearing moments. Sorry, my mouse got pinched.
No, don't get me wrong. There are good moments to this one, but I can't go higher than 3.
I think 3 is exactly correct.
On to the B story from Classic X-Men 25, Written by Ann Nesenti, penciled and inked by John Bolton, and lettered by Tom Orzechowski.
I'm already afraid.
Well, I'm going to cross off women in comics, because she is one.
Oh, sure.
Is that all we know about her?
Oh no, we know plenty
thank
about
God.
Ann Nesenti, actually. Though I do not care much for her work, I find it grating and difficult to follow, but your mileage may vary.
You know, I was only afraid because this wasn't Chris.
Yeah, no.
You know that you're not helping. You're not helping me with
No, I don't, judge it by its own merits for you. I'm noting this up front, though, because even with that, she's led a pretty impressive life. Another one of these characters who's had her toe in a little bit of everything. She's done journalism, she's directed documentaries, short stories, screenplay writing, she's a film teacher, she's been all over fucking Marvel. And despite the fact that, comics were never political until Marvel had to go and be all woke, she's known for putting a good amount of social critique in her comics.
Right, yes. Comics were never political.
Never,
No.
ever, ever.
Not until Marvel had to go and make them all woke in, the 2010s
It's just like how Star Wars wasn't political.
It wasn't political until they had to start adding gay people.
Mm-hmm.
That glowing picture painted, though, I still think she's fucking annoying. Wolverine is on some side mission. When? Who knows, but he's already with the X-Men. For whom? Whoever the fuck Central is. What's the mission? Blow up this building. Why? They're bad guys. Sure.
That's exactly what Wolverine, that's what he's best at, blowing up buildings.
No, that's not what he's best at.
It's best at moving.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that's what he's known for, is blowing up buildings. Obviously.
I guess I can cross off fun facts, because Annie did have some.
To be fair, it's not like Wolverine cares that much.
No, he's not taking to this with much gusto. He's actually bitching about how the dynamite Central gave him has a really short fuse.
Yeah.
So whoever he's doing this for, this is court mandated murder.
He's taking shit work for sure. He lights it and runs for the hills, but he's not fast enough to outrun the blast.
Looks pretty.
Flame from the explosion licks at his clothing, hungrily eating away at most of it, but sizzling out just shy of his cock and balls. So at least his junk's not hanging out in the winter weather.
I've seen artists be a little more bold about that.
Sure, I mean, I'm thinking it'd heal, but I don't imagine frostbitten balls are a great experience.
Well, there was that Batman comic.
Where he got frostbitten balls? Damn.
No. Where they showed his entire situation.
Yeah.
And then they had to
re-release it.
Yes.
You gotta know the cock version sells for a bunch on eBay.
Oh, I'm sure. Assuming you can sell it and it's not labeled pornography and thus banned by eBay.
Does eBay not allow you to sell porn? If you had, this is my giant box of VHSs from 20 years ago.
It was a relatively recent change that they made to their policies, but if I understand it right, yes, they've banned the sale of pornography.
Yeah, I really see that actually being enforceable.
They do enforce it, if I understand it right.
Well, yeah, but it's the same as people selling their used underwear, you know?
Yeah, but people report, and then it gets...
Okay, this doesn't matter.
No, this doesn't matter at all. Why are we talking about this? So yeah.
To check off boxes on your...
Gotta talk about his cock and balls, yeah.
Yes. Because that's right. You have a box for cock and balls on your
I do. It's
bingo,
right there. It's my cock and balls square.
Why are they square?
I mean, there is...
Oh, no!
There's something wrong.
So I can make click, clack, click noises when I shimmy my hips.
That sounds like a condition.
Don't make fun of my square balls. Be body positive, motherfucker.
Have you had them checked by a doctor? I'm not sure they're supposed to be square.
Why, so they can cut off my balls and put them in a museum? Never.
The ball museum.
This is why we're not monetizable on YouTube.
Yeah, I guess we do kind of have a cock and balls square in that sense. Anyway, sure, it had healed, but yeah, so time to start walking. Did he walk out here in the first place? If he did, why would that be fucking noteworthy? But let's get into character. Naked. He's not. Old. Miles from anywhere. Only one thing to do. Start walking. Ha! This is bear country. Mountain lions, bobcats. From the hunter to the hunted. The wilderness has its bite. It has claws. So what, Snick? So do I!
So do I, eh?
You know, putting a Canadian spin on that just makes him so less threatening.
Exactly.
That's my favorite thing about it. Out in the snow, a hunter spots some strange tracks. He doesn't recognize them, but immediately decides that he must shoot the thing that left them, so location established as the northern United States.
You don't recognize them as being human?
No.
They are clearly human shaped.
No, it's the deadliest games.
Oh,
footprints.
God. We're playing. That's what's happening. Okay.
No animal I know.
It's the Loch Ness Monster.
I'll kill it.
He said it right here.
Oh my God.
Loch Ness Monster.
Nessie's on vacation.
Nessie's out of her lock and she's gone traveling.
The hunter creeps closer to the creature. Then he spots it. A burly, hairy creature with striking facial fur and glowing eyes. He swears the creature spotted him, but it seems impossible at this distance. The hunter creeps closer to the creature, waiting for the right time, smugly knowing that with how quiet he's being, it'll never hear him coming.
He has a rifle with a scope and also a bow and arrow.
He does.
He likes to kill multiple kinds of ways. Sometimes you just have multiple weapons on you,
The thing
and you
about
use both of them.
the thing about that is that bow season and rifle season are not the same hunting season.
You think this guy cares about
I don't.
His coat is made of pelts, like, patched together.
Oh God, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
This man doesn't care about what kind of hunting season it is.
This
About
man
to get
is
a Wolverine
like a fucking
skin jacket.
This man is like a fucking wilderness prepper. Who's like, I'm living off the grid, man.
I don't even know
the government doesn't have a hold on me.
I don't even know what people look like anymore.
I'm so competent, I am one with nature.
I have so many guns.
Oh, so he fucking thinks. Logan both hears and he hates him. He's being loud and attracting all those fucking wild animals in the process. Though he does briefly muse over stealing his coat and boots.
Do it, fucking do it.
The hunter continues to stalk his prey through the snow, thinking of the reactions from the creatures he hunts and fishes. You're a hunter! You must dominate! Man over nature! Shoot the bird on the wing! Steal its flight! Logan looks upon the same bird, envying its freedom. And then out of nowhere, a fucking bear. Must have been daydreaming about that eagle for quite a while if you missed a whole-ass bear stomping through the forest.
Bears are really fast, dude.
That's
Wolverine's affinity for nature!
Well, I don't think he's having a great affinity for nature.
He was looking at the bird, though.
He was looking at the bird.
He was bird. Look, we literally have a juxtaposition between the hunter thinking, I could take away that bird's
life.
Life. And Wolverine being like,
I love nature.
I love nature. Look at that bird. Look at that bird being so free. I love the stark silence out here. The echoing stillness of freedom.
I'll give it to you,
the joy
man.
of pure survival.
I was absolutely wrong, and I just kind of said that reflexively.
Yes, and then he's like, and then he goes, "What's that?" And it's a bear.
It's Cocaine Bear.
Holy shit! The bear rises up on its hind legs and then lunges at Wolvie with great snapping jaws. A spurt of blood, but it's from the bear's torn neck, and it falls to die in the snow. Any joy of that survival he was thinking of earlier is long gone. He feels bad about the bear. It didn't know anything, it was hungry, and it heard that giant lummox clomping around back there. It didn't know what it had coming. But it then stalks off into the snow, not wanting to deal with the fucking hunter. But the hunter now opts for his bow, drawing the string back and releasing. Logan catches the fucking thing, and then throws it back hard enough that it stabs into the hunter's leg, before continuing grumpily on his fucking way.
You know, I didn't think I was going to get this, because Wolverine wasn't being a tough guy for no reason, but he didn't have to do that.
I mean, he did get shot.
I don't know, I think it's justified.
I think it's fair. Stop the guy from fucking following him for one.
He did do that.
So let's take a moment to appreciate this fucking pinup, though.
It's awesome.
It's fucking gorgeous. What do you rate that?
Very dumb setup.
Very dumb setup.
Dumb setup, but I liked it.
Yeah, barring the incredible stupidity of where this started, that wasn't terrible.
I'd give it a 4.
Yeah.
I'm
Fair.
at a 3.5. I don't much care for Ann Nesenti's writing style. It just grates against me. But she did handle some themes very nicely with mirroring. I did like that. What do you think CMRO thought about it?
4.
2.95.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What did they think about the last one?
It was like 3.6 something.
Damn.
It was 3.68 was the last one. Next is X-Men 120 from January of 1979, so we are in a new year.
Woo! Happy New Year!
And we're almost in a new decade.
We're almost in a new decade yet.
God.
Written by Chris Claremont, penciled by John Byrne, inked by Terry Austin, colored by Glennis Ween, and lettered by Tom Orzechowski. The classic X-Men version of this is uploaded in a really obnoxious way where they only included the new additions and we would have to fit them into the story, and we're not doing that because it's not worth it.
No,
That's annoying.
that's the dumbest way to do that.
Yeah, they used to scan these much differently than they do. So the ones that we've been reading are actually much newer scans than some of the older classic X-Men scans.
I mean, I'm not shocked, but at that point, why don't they just add them themselves?
I don't know, but I'm sure that they'll probably get around to it because these all used to be the same way. They've updated them. So we're going to ignore that for now, and we'll circle back to that book for the B story. Mac Hudson stands in the war room of the Canadian Ministry of Defense, giving Prime Minister Trudeau... No, the other one.
Oh, right, his father.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, his father, an actual Canadian Prime Minister.
It actually is him. Like, I looked up a picture to... What happened? Oh, I broke it.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
Your new mouse is ridiculous.
Well,
Right
I'm
now.
just bumping
But
it into
this
shit.
is
the
Trudeau's
problem.
dad, because
But,
that's what's famous about Justin Trudeau. His father was also Prime Minister back in the, I guess the 70s.
So here's him, right? Let me open
And
it.
yeah, he
Wow.
actually looks like his...
That's who he is.
He actually looks like his... I mean, he
Like,
does...
I can pull up a picture.
I'm sure, but... Hell, he looks like Justin Trudeau! Who is his son?
Yeah, but let's not do that then.
It's already
We're
breaking...
close enough.
It's fine, I get it.
So,
Yep.
I'm gonna put what the fuck is wrong with
Yeah,
Canada.
I feel like I'm getting a very what the fuck is wrong with Canada
Canada
vibe
is so fucking aggro.
because just this one panel kind of gives me a what the fuck is wrong with Canada vibe. Do you even know what a prime minister is?
Again, I'm pretty sure that Marvel Canada is like Civ Gandhi.
They've gone all the way around to nuclear. We have nuclear weapons in the
yeah.
hardest way.
We'll get there. But no, he's giving him the play-by-play of the big game as they watch it play out on the big screen. The game being footage of the fight with the mandroids back at the Yoshida Manor.
Why do they have that?
I don't know.
Why does he recognize Weapon X?
Assumedly there are a bunch of guys crouched in there with like beaver hats out and crouched in the bushes taking videotapes. Because the Prime Minister was there, probably up to something.
He
Gotta get that back to Canadian intelligence.
That's a really dumb question, John. He recognizes Weapon X because he created Weapon X.
Right.
He's the fucking Prime Minister, and Weapon X was created by it's a government project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's a prime minister. It's not like he's important.
Well, he's apparently quite mad about this because,
You know who should also know about Weapon X? The Queen.
Yes!
Because the Queen is technically also the Queen of Canada.
That's true. I
The
bet she's
Queen
been
of
briefed.
England it has definitely been briefed about the existence of Weapon X.
Yeah,
That's
for
what this
sure.
implies, heavily, because he serves at her leisure, just like every other prime minister within the Commonwealth.
Well, not anymore.
Or at the time, he served at the Queen's leisure.
Yes.
Pierre wants to know what's up with the rest of these dudes. He's been reading Avengers comics and only knows who Wolverine is. Anyway, Hudson explains what the X-Men's deal is before Trudeau cuts him off because he doesn't actually particularly care about the X-Men. He just wants that several $1 million of walking, talking, drinking, smoking, spitting, fucking Canadian tax dollars back on Canadian soil.
Look
Yeah.
at this Canadian man. He is so Canadian, I could If you tapped him open, he would bleed Canadian maple syrup.
Yeah. We can't get into the whole syrup thing in Canada. We can't. So Mac presses a button to summon his new team together. We have Olympic skier Jean-Paul Bobier, North Star.
Is that a real person? It sounds like a real person.
No. Dr. Michael Tuyungsman, Shaman. Corporal Anne Mackenzie of the RCMP, Snowbird. Dr. Squatch himself, Dr. Walter Lankowski, Sasquatch. And teacher Jean-Marie Bobier, Aurora. Across an ocean, the X-Men stand on the airport tarmac, waiting to board their plane for home.
They're going to have some trouble entering the United States.
Scott and Shiro shake hands, friends again, until they leave Yoshida's view, long enough for him to forget that. With their goodbyes said, the X-Men are glad to get on a flight home. With one small hitch. Wolverine is missing.
God.
He's not far off, though. He's headed back to the limousine, parked just outside of the gates, to give Mariko a goodbye token. A white chrysanthemum blossom.
That has meaning.
Yeah, do you know what that is? Because I didn't look it up.
Oh, I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Alright. Well, he also finally gives her his actual name before departing for home by private plane. So I imagine this is how they're going to sneak back into the country. I believe, since this is referred to as Jaren Hogarth's plane, that this private hookup has to do with Misty and Colleen.
In Japan, white chrysanthemum flowers are reserved for mourning and grief.
Wow.
So that doesn't really work here.
Yeah, bad call. Though I am going to cross off mid-podcast research now.
You're welcome.
It's a smooth flight most of the way home, but as their plane begins to near the west coast, the weather takes a turn for the nastier, with airports up and down the coast closing. The pilots decide they need to let their passengers know what's going on, so one of them heads back, waking Scott from where he drifted off chatting with Colleen. Getting very cozy there.
Scott is in a plane crash, 7 so far.
They've been talking all night. No, see, the one I was going to, Scott's being a hoe.
Wait, I'm sorry, I completely zoned out. What's going on?
Scott may be about to be in a plane crash.
Well, okay.
Who's this lady?
The pilot.
Oh.
They're flying home, but the airports are starting to close up and down the coast. They can't get to their destination. They can't get to any of the other airports. They're starting to run into problems.
That's bad.
Oh, no. I was talking about this lady. That's Colleen.
No, that's Colleen, yep.
Okay.
No, Scott and Colleen were talking the whole way until they dozed off real cuddly here.
Okay, now I just need a secret family member.
I need Magneto as a drama queen, but if wishes were horses...
I don't think you're going to get that one. It seems this storm has been following them wherever they've tried to land.
Aurora, are you doing something?
Well, Scott turns to go fetch her, only to find her in the doorway to the cockpit like something is wrong. After Summers asks, Storm gives it her best shot, but the storm is fighting her, and their scrap is just putting the plane in danger.
She's also naked.
No, she's not.
Her robe opens.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, that does look naked.
Her robe opens and she's like naked underneath.
And then she's looking really weird at the next panel.
She just fucking flashes everyone in the cockpit.
I mean, that's not unlike her. Remember that whole thing in the pool?
Someone is naked.
Yep, someone is naked. So Storm stops. Scott, content to see where this storm is so determined to have them go and why. And the answer, it seems, is Calgary. That's already going to have them on fumes, so Calgary it is.
Okay, Calgary, woo!
So they've been forced to land in Calgary, safe and sound, but one of the pilots notes that their taxiing pattern is strangely far from the airport terminal. Suddenly she hits the brakes hard as a man stands in the middle of the taxiway.
You know, you should have just hit him.
It's Mac, and he wants to talk to Wolverine.
Should have just hit him.
Return of the Mac.
Okay, but like I know this is comics so we can ignore it, but imagine how funny this would be to watch in real life. Like you're the snowplow guy going up and down, and you just see this guy standing in the middle of the tarmac yelling at a plane.
They can't hear you! What? They can't hear you!
The engines are still fucking screaming.
And of course, he can't, and if you're yelling at him to...
He's giving the plane a fucking countdown. The pilot's just like, what the fuck is going on down there?
Hey, guys, can anyone on board understand what this guy's saying? I can't read lips.
Scott's like, hey, isn't that the guy that fucked up your picnic last summer, Logan? And Logan's like, that's the guy who fucked up my picnic last summer! Let me at him! And he pops his claws before Scott's like, will you put those things away? How the fuck is that helping you in the cockpit?
Well, go outside and murder that man.
But now there's a new problem, because the plane isn't moving. The pilots pushed the throttles forward all the way, so I guess they did decide to just run that over.
Sometimes you just decide to run a guy over.
They decided to stand in front of the plane. I don't know what he expected. But the plane won't even budge, shaking wildly.
This is a weird fucking plane.
It's a custom deal. They did mention that.
Okay.
The vibration wakes the rest of the passengers. Out the window, Kurt spots a man holding the plane in place by one of its engines.
Well, it's a custom deal, but they do say it's a DC-10.
It is indeed a DC-10, and after he throws it, it does as DC-10s do, shattering into pieces as it's dashed upon the ground.
That's not what happens when you break a plane, guys.
Well, they were pretty much out of gas.
Yes, but they don't usually fall into component parts like that.
Yeah, I think they just kind of
that's
broke,
part
man.
that's part of the custom build.
The breakaway seams.
Yes, breakaway seams. Real good.
Damn good thing they're out of gas. Vindicator quickly flies over to the plane, sweating over the hot water they're going to be in over this fiasco. And rushing to the rescue of the passengers on the ship because, oh boy, this got out of hand.
So, this escalated
This
quickly.
man is so fucking Canadian, though,
what
isn't he?
What the fuck is wrong with Canada?
He's like, oh no, oh god, I didn't mean for that to happen. I better go help those people, eh?
Those people that we forced to land here and were threatening with...
Well, yeah, but he didn't want them to die.
Right, he's like, oh boy. So he rushes over, but as soon as he gets there and looks over it, the plane is empty. The storm begins to intensify, cloaking the DC-10's passengers as they head for the terminal. As they near its warmth, and hopefully safety, Scott starts demanding answers from Logan. Wolvie's snippy about it, but after Sight continues to grill him, he finally explains.
Scott and Logan butt heads?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a fair butting of heads, but they definitely are.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting so many spaces.
Come on, Magneto, show up. Be a drama queen. That's all I got.
Jimmy is at the head of Project Maple Leaf, an initiative...
That's really lame.
What the fuck is wrong with Canada?
Well, Project Maple Leaf is an initiative to assemble a super team backed by the Canadian government.
Which, in turn, means that it is stamped with the approval of the Queen.
These are the Canadian Avengers. He's the one who got Wolverine all ready for teamwork, one who is kind of an example to all the biggins about what this could be. And then Logan cut and run, wouldn't you know it?
I love that this has the tacit approval of the Queen by way of her representative.
Walking around the city in a big group is bound to get them in trouble, and so Scott's like, let's split up, gang.
That always works when the party splits up.
Ordering them to meet up at Calgary Tower. Kurt, the most conspicuous of them, goes on his own. He makes a little game of it, trying to make it to the tower in as few bumps as possible. About 7 miles and 3 jumps. PB?
Mm-hmm. Well, you'd think
I love how he notes this shit, like, oh, cool. I'm getting so good at this. It's really cute.
So whoever fucks with him.
Suddenly, his darkened alley is bathed in brilliant light. Kurt squints against it, right before being socked in the jaw by North Star.
Yep, knew that was coming.
1 down, 5 to go.
You know, they were so good in Japan when they were taking apart guys in suits.
But they were also working together and not being hunted.
And also, they didn't split up the party.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. They were all together, working as a team.
You can't get out of the
Canadian accent. I can't get out of the Canadian accent. Now I'm kind of stuck.
Rip.
Well, at least I'm in the right location.
Hey.
A little bit later, Scott and his group too have reached the Calgary Tower, but it seems to be just them. They can't find Kurt. or Logan, or Sean, or Aurora, or for that matter, Colleen, it might be nothing, but it leaves Psyche uneasy. But not all is going wrong. Sean and Aurora and Colleen are just making a stop at the mall.
Wow.
Great plan.
Sometimes when you're being hunted, you just stop at the mall for clothes.
The idea was to find something less conspicuous for Aurora to wear. Rather, they are. Sean's just smoking his pipe in the middle of this store because he is an Irish stereotype.
And it is the 70s, so it's perfectly legal.
Yep, he's just doing that because women be shopping.
Yep.
Little did they know, the Canadians are closing in on them quickly. Vindicator's sensors have locked onto the bunch of them at the mall. Very impolitely for a Canadian, he blasts his way into the skywalk rather than just using the door. And he doesn't even apologize to those kids he scared on his date, don't you know? Can you even believe this, hoser?
It's Canada! You can't just do this in Canada! Why are you doing this to your own Canadian people?
Mac follows his sensors into a nearby store, where he and Banshee lock eyes. Sean immediately sees red like a bull, and it's not Maple Boy's bodysuit. He just sees that guy who nearly killed his girl, and he's mad all over again! Reflexively, he's ready to scream, but immediately he doubles over in pain, clutching at his neck. Mac, feeling just terrible now, rushes to his side.
What is going on here?
He's so Canadian!
Promising to call him a doctor. Just then, Aurora reemerges from the fitting room, seized with fury when she sees Sean's current state. She blasts him out of the store with a giant blast of lightning, making a wreck of the place in the process, much to the despair of the store owner. Mac Attack then heads for the hills because that was going to be an ugly fight. And he's really beating himself up for his failures. He definitely is a whiny bitch, but like a word in his favor, he's pretty new at this, he doesn't have much experience in the field, and he didn't really want the job to begin with.
And he's painfully Canadian.
So, I'd say he's doing decent.
Doesn't know how to be mean.
No. I'm gonna cross off that I gave someone a nickname. As he flies off, Scott spots Vindicator's energy trail streaming away from the site of that lightning strike, and Cyclops thinks he has a handle on what's going wrong here. They're being hunted on easy mode. Since Jimbo works with a bunch of mutants, it makes sense that he'd have a device to sniff them out.
Crap!
So by splitting up, they've only managed to split up their strength.
This is why you don't split up the party.
Great job, Scott.
Great leadership!
Can you blame him, though, if he does? I can understand being, like, he should have thought of that, but I can also understand how fucking conspicuous it would have to all of them walking across the city in a big group.
I'm gonna make an argument for Scott is in a plane crash. The plane landed, but then it crashed.
It did do that! It was thrown, it crashed. It did go back into the air. It did actually.
You guys got it. I'm on board. Scott got in another fucking plane crash.
I mean,
and he did it on the ground, which is impressive.
Think about how horrifying it must be that first the plane is on the ground. Okay, something bad is happening, but at least we're on the ground. And then the plane goes up, and then it goes down, and it lands in the wrong direction.
God.
No wonder he made a bad call. He's dealing with the trauma of just having survived.
Being in another fucking plane crash.
He's got that adrenaline
and
going
this
big
time
time.
it was basically on the ground. How do you have a plane crash on the ground?
Just when you thought it was safe to go outside. But they also have left Logan alone, and he walks the streets, noting some of the uglier side of things here. Shine the place up as much as you like, but there are still people living on the streets. Suddenly, a giant hairy arm reaches out from an alley, giving him the stage hook treatment.
Yoink!
Before slamming him first into one wall, and then another, before hauling the unconscious manlet up over his shoulders. The rest of the X-Men come together, taking note of who's still missing, and getting psyched up to go get their friends back.
Wow, it's just weird to see him go down so easy.
Yeah, right? That did go real quick. But then again, he was strong enough to fucking hold a plane.
Yeah.
Engines going full tilt.
Yeah, he threw a plane backwards. He can knock out Wolverine and give the man some temporary brain damage.
So what do you want to rate that?
Weird.
I kind of liked it.
I like it too. I'm at 4.
Yeah, 4.
I guess. It's just weird. This feels weird. Like, weird follow-up for the Japan trip.
It's not that weird.
I don't know. I'm still like, what the fuck is up? We saw Justin Trudeau's dad. It's weird. It is weird that we just saw the Prime Minister. Wait, does that mean that was actually the Prime Minister of Japan?
Yeah, that's what I just started wondering right now. It's like, I wonder if that's actually who the Prime Minister... I think he said it was Osama, so I'd have to look.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, if we're seeing actual Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's dad...
it's probably actually
then
him.
Somebody might have done the bare bones research to at least get the name right.
How do you think CMRO rated it?
Did they hate it?
3.
2.
No, 4.02.
Okay,
They're right with us.
They liked it. I still think it's a weird one, though. Like,
it's a little funny, but hey.
And seeing Justin Trudeau's dad is just, what?
That's the thing about Marvel, though, is, like, the president in any given Marvel comic is the president of real life when it was published.
And then
so
sliding time scale just moves who you assume the president is.
Why would it be any different for Canada?
Exactly.
Yeah, but usually, I don't know.
It's an established rule.
How often how often is the American president involved with, say, the Avengers?
Fairly often.
That happens on a decently regular basis, probably once a year, right?
Yeah,
okay. Does America have any equivalent to Weapon X?
Probably, but I think it might have been a joint project.
Cap?
Fair.
I think it was a joint project, though. I might be wrong.
I don't know. This felt entirely Canadian, and thereby also Her Majesty's Royal Weapon X. What the fuck?
Lastly, we have the base story from Classic X-Men 26, written by Tom Orzechowski, getting a turn in the writer's seat this time, in addition to his lettering duties, so I guess we'll be intimately familiar with those letters. And then penciling, inking, and coloring, we have Boatswain John Bolton. It's a real total
John Bolton came back to do whatever the fuck we're looking at.
And...
it's pronounced bosun.
That's true. You are right, but fuck you.
The bosun.
You are correct. I am crossing off giving John Bolton another job, but even though I knew it was inevitable.
How do we know he's not a bosun?
We don't know. That's what I'm saying, man.
Just because you pronounced it wrong doesn't mean he doesn't get the job.
Is this fucking Popeye, by the way?
I think so.
You'll see what's going on here a little bit.
Unless this is handsome Squidward we're about to see. Yes, I think this is Popeye.
We find Logan 20 years in the past, arm wrestling in a bar in Calgary. He wins his match, and the barkeep bets Logan will beat everyone, ushering her patrons to drink up. But then the guy he beat gets it in his head that he's being tricked.
The art style changed.
Yep, but that was then, this is now. Now being sometime after our present adventure with the team,
that was a cool art shift. That was actually really cool.
Yeah, see, like, they were going with something there.
You know, I was worried it was about to be in that art style, and I would have been horrified.
I was completely happy to just be in that art style.
The back of handsome Squidward's head was not the place I wanted to live.
Fucking thumbhead here. Sean, Kurt, and Logan all sit around one of the well-worn booths at Harry's hideaway, having themselves a boys' night. And so Logan starts telling the guys about that bar, and the barkeep, a woman by the name of Cracklin' Rosa.
Well, I guess there are some good things about Canada.
So anyway, as he was...
Oh my god!
I love it. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
I don't like it, man.
I do not. I am not here for this. I'm sorry. I know it's intentional, but yikes.
I think the style is ugly, but I do like the idea of it. As he was thinking and not telling the guys until now, he was in this arm wrestling match with this guy, Lefty. Lefty's got it in his head that given the amount of booze Logan's been guzzling, he shouldn't even be standing, let alone winning arm wrestling matches. He thinks Rosa's serving Logan soda pop.
Is this how Logan sees things in his head? Is this how if he pictures something, does it look Popeye-ishly cartoonish?
God, I hope so.
That would be really funny, but no.
No, I think this is it.
It's not, I promise you.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Aww.
Logan has another drink to try to prove him wrong, but then somebody gets Lefty's buddy Turk all excited, who in turn gets Lefty more riled up, and then it's on like Donkey Kong.
I am actually sad that we know canonically what Logan's inner world looks like.
That's not what it looks like, because Banshee recognizes those names as people he helped arrest back in his Interpol days.
Why do they have such a... Wow, they... Okay, we got Noir.
I love this. I love this.
It's a really cool way to note this, I think, to portray these ideas. Scott shows up unfashionably late for boys' night, but just in time to hear Sean's story.
It's showing a shifting perspective.
A shifting tone, yeah. So apparently, along with his super screaming, he's also got, like, this ability to focus in and hear other sounds. I'm willing to accept that. So he followed some tips out to the Calgary Stampede, including this French guy, Arsene? Arsene? I think Arsene.
Probably Arsene.
Arson.
Assume as many of the vowels that are...
Considering it has an E at the end, I think it's Arsene. So, including this French guy, Arsene. And this is definitely a story being told around a table full of beers because it's all over the fucking place.
Even the style is a little bit all over the place.
Someone's might be a little tipsy here.
So he found out about this meeting Arsene was going to be having at this place called Cecil's Bar. So he goes in to do his deal, which still has not been elaborated on in any way. The bar is loud, though most of the participants are on the other side of the room, hooping and hollering over something or another. And then Arsene, and whoever the fuck he's meeting with, send Lefty off to get more drinks, while they bicker over Arsene's merchandise, a string of pearls. But Lefty didn't do that. Instead, he went over to the crowd and decided to try and take on Logan.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, they were at the same place at the same time.
Vince Borelli and Arsene make their deal right in front of Banshee. And now with everyone caught red-handed, Sean signals for the Mounties to move in.
Great.
And they sure are Mounties.
They sure are. And with the arrest made, all that's left is the bar fight. Logan puts up a good fake struggle for a bit, playing it up to keep this swindling deal he's got with Rosa going.
God.
And then he promptly wipes the floor with Lefty. And I'm sure it's a messy floor in a joint like this.
Oh yeah, that floor is disgusting.
Logan's like, I didn't used to appreciate all this sneaking around, cop boy. But then he realized his skills made him pretty well suited for it. And then Sean's like, well, I didn't used to like big braggarts like yourself either, but sometimes it pays to get loud. And Scott's like, well, I'm glad you guys learned the lesson of teamwork. I'm not sure how that was the lesson, but sure.
Okay.
It wasn't, Scott. You heard a completely different story.
And that's why they start laughing at him.
Yes.
Also, Kurt is wearing his image inducer again.
He sure is.
Kurt, this is explicitly the place you got over that here.
Right. So how do you rate that?
Weird. I don't know how to rate it. It's so different from everything.
There are a lot of cool ideas being played with. I think that had they had a whole book, it may have been better. I liked a lot of the ideas. I liked the shifting tone to portray different perspectives. That was cool, but...
Now, maybe it's just the fact that I am the only artist at the table that is making me appreciate the shifting art style more.
I do appreciate the shifting art style. I just don't like this style. Though I do like the sharp lines, the very bold lines.
When it is that way.
Yeah.
And it isn't always that way, because apparently Banshee's
I really like that picture of Rosa.
Yeah, that looks really good. But Banshee's part had a different style entirely because it was a different perspective.
Although he's not really consistent about his own...
No, that's the problem, is it went from, like, detective noir back to, like, a cartoony kind of...
But even then, it doesn't stay a consistent cartoony style.
I'd have liked to see more of that style, too. I don't think we got enough of it.
I like the ideas. I like what they were playing with. I don't think they were executed especially well.
Yeah.
But you know what?
So I'd give it a 3.5.
I think they only got to do this because this is, like, bonus material.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this probably wouldn't have happened if it weren't.
I like the idea of these two coincidentally being at the same bar, because, like, they're the two people who are, like, the right age range to have met each other.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, one of them is over a century, and, although, is he over a century yet?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't know when they canonically make him born in, like, the 1800s.
So. I think it's like the 1850s. I might be wrong.
Because I don't know when that's canon.
I could be wrong.
But,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. How do you think CMRO liked that?
2.
Yeah.
1.
How did we rate it? Did we rate it?
I said 3.5.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at a 3 myself. There were a lot of cool ideas. They didn't all come together.
It didn't land, but yeah, I can appreciate what this is trying to be, even if it doesn't really land.
CMRO gave it a 2.27.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And that does. With that being the last one, I think I can cross off no one gets a bingo!
No, you can't, because then you get a bingo.
I'm gonna do it, though.
I think
to celebrate our 100th episode...
Ripley gets a bingo.
I get a bingo. I think I also fucked up episode and issue at some point in this.
Yeah. You definitely did, at least once.
Alright, so, like, I would have gotten a bingo anyway.
Probably.
I got a lot of spaces, but no bingo.
Just throw in Magneto there, so he can be a drama queen.
I can't do that!
You just assume wherever he is, he's being a drama queen.
Yes, so I can cross that off, even if he's not actually showing up, because he's definitely being a drama queen somewhere.
Tits out.
At, Quiznos.
Yes!
Tits out! Well... It's a fucking Mad Lib. Magneto shows up, tits out at the Quiznos.
He asks for he wants his grilled.
He wants his titties grilled?
Yes, he wants his titties grilled. That's why I went to the Quiznos. They have the grill.
Ah, that's true. Got that fucking grill that the guy fucks in that commercial.
Oh my god.
Anyway...
You wonder why we're not monetized.
Hey, they put that on national television. That's not on me.
Yeah, they also put an Folgers incest commercial on national television.
That's not on me.
So, just because they put it on national television doesn't mean...
We're running a little long, so here on our 100th episode, here's to another 100.
Woo!
Wait and see where that takes us.
Good God.
Our X-Men episodes have been running long lately.
Well, that's not a surprise. I'm trying to jam 4 stories into an episode.
But that is
Chris was a wordy motherfucker.
But that is going to stop eventually.
Yeah, we'll be able to bring it down to 3 probably.
And mostly this bonus content stuff is going to stop.
Yeah, right around the end of our 2nd season, it will stop. That's gonna be it for us this week. Gonna go through our stuff. You wanna join us, get your own bingo card. I can give you a Comicsplaining bingo card, but it's just like a whole bunch of the same shit because I only have 24 spaces on it right now. So.
And there's a good chance you'd get a bingo.
Yeah. We did, there were a lot of them got crossed off this time. God, there weren't many that weren't crossed off.
So it's actually kind of a minor miracle that, you didn't get a bingo as soon as you did.
So you can join us over on Discord if you want your own bingo card, Thor, X-Men, or Comicsplaining. I can do it all. Get 30 of the damn things. It's not hard. Otherwise, you can find us over on social media. We're on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're watching over on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. If you're not watching over on YouTube, we have a YouTube if you want to see a video version of the podcast with little clips of the things we're talking about. Sure, you're going to have a fun time with this last issue here.
It's a lot to see.
It's gonna be interesting trying to figure out which clips to take.
Right. I thought you were going to say, it's going to be interesting figuring out which of these fucking faces I'm going to put on the cover art this week.
That too.
I don't know. Fat, handsome Squidward over here makes for a pretty good choice.
What about angry Pierre Trudeau?
That's not a bad one.
Well, it's gotta be... There's certain parameters. I won't get into it.
There's actually a whole rule set up. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I know you have certain things you like to deal with and certain things you don't.
The very big titty woman in the background.
She's got a gambling problem.
She does. She really does.
Anyway, we're over on YouTube. If you want to throw us a few bucks, we're over on Patreon. We just recorded our newest bonus-ode. where Wells Fargo saves the day.
Yes, they do. What an advertisement. 75% of the pages have some kind of ad on them.
But the biggest thing you can do to help us is get the word out, rate and review, tell your friends, tell your enemies, call your congressman, call it a bomb threat.
Tell Justin Trudeau that his father was in a Marvel comic.
Yeah, email the Canadian Prime Minister.
Is he still the Prime Minister?
I think. I don't know. I don't care.
I care, but Canada isn't that important.
I think he is, but you can...
I mean, politically, it's not that important for my daily life.
Don't fucking fact check me on this. Anyway, that's gonna be it for us this week. We look forward to talking to you next week with Thor. Bye!
Bye!